Hey, what's up? This is Jonathan, and today what I'd like to briefly talk to you about is your voice and how your voice may be actually ruining your life. Now, here are a few tips for developing a more powerful, high-status voice. Have you ever cracked a joke or told a story and nobody in the room laughed at the joke, or nobody in the room even heard what it was that you were saying? Well, it could be a few factors that are preventing you from being able to actually communicate with people because your communication is improper. Now, what are a few of these factors that you could work on? Well, number one, loudness. Are you speaking loud enough? Our head tends to amplify the way we sound, and we tend to think we speak louder than we actually do. So what I recommend you do in your everyday life, just try to speak 2% louder than you normally do. Push yourself to speak just a little bit loud, to where it feels uncomfortable, like you might be yelling a little bit. Once you get used to speaking at that volume, try to speak even louder. Maybe a day or two later when you're used to that volume, you'll know you're doing it right when people are constantly telling you to lower your voice. That's actually a good thing. Don't feel bad about that. That means you're on the right track. Now, number two, speak with a positive dominant tonality. Now, what does dominance convey? It conveys that you have boundaries and you're a person who's not to be messed with. It also conveys that you have tons of social alliances and you don't need to placate anybody because you have an abundance of people in your life and resources. But you may come across as kind of rude or bossy if you're always speaking in a dominant tonality. What you can do to balance this out is add some happy emotions to this. This is the positive emotions, right? So what does pure dominance sound like? Well, it sounds kind of like a cop. Freeze, get on the floor. Freeze. Or a very authoritative person may use that tone when, really laying down the law. Now, what does pure positivity sound like? Hey, hi. It's kind of like the way that people speak in a children's television show. Well, you want to combine the two, and that is the sweet spot. That's the positive dominant sweet spot. What does that sound like? Well, it's like, hey, yo, what's up? Hi, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? It's dominant, shows that you have those boundaries, but it also adds positive emotions. It makes you a little bit more warm and friendly as opposed to just straight dominance. So if you can add that to your voice, people are going to respond to you a lot differently. It's almost like somebody got plastic surgery and put two plastic or silicone things in their body. Even though people can tell that those are fake, they're still going to get hypnotized by those two plastic things and treat those people a little bit different. The world's going to respond or react a little differently to that person with this surgery. You're kind of the same way. You can change your voice to be a little bit more positive dominant. People are going to respond accordingly. Now, what does this do for you? It gives you an upward spiral. You get good feedback and changes your physiology, which changes your psychology. If you can speak in a positive dominant way, it actually improves your psychology. It probably lowers your cortisol and pumps up maybe a little more testosterone, maybe a little bit more endorphins by changing your physiology, the way you physically speak. That's actually going to change your psychology as well. Tip number 3 is make eye contact. Make sure that you make solid eye contact with the people that you are talking to. Sometimes you may even have to stand slightly in front of that person to make sure that they can see you so that you can make that eye contact with them. Many people who struggle with social skills actually aren't even being able to get their foot in the door because they're not establishing that connection with people through the eyes. Many people on program will ask, what do I say? What do I say when I go up to meet a random stranger? Well, if they're not able to just go up and look at the person and make a calm, friendly, warm eye contact in a non-intrusive way, then that person's not even going to be receptive to them trying to communicate with them, right? They're not even going to be open to that. They may not even be tuned into what it is you're saying because they don't realize you're trying to speak to them. So when you're talking to people, make sure that you make eye contact. They probably won't even view you as a human being if you can't just look them in the eye and talk to them. Sometimes that's all it takes to flip around someone who may be kind of rude towards you or somebody who's challenging you in a very rude way. If you could just remain calm, look them in the eye, hold yourself there calmly, then oftentimes that's enough to get them to respect you or also get them to understand that you're communicating with them or trying to, and that will make them receptive to hearing what it is that you have to say. So with that, I encourage you to incorporate these tips into your life. Start using them today, and the sooner you can use them, the better people will start to treat you, and the faster you'll start to have this shift in your identity where they start to respond to you better when you socialize. This will help you connect with people better. If you like my videos, please hit that subscribe button below, and I'll bring more content your way. This is all life-changing content, simply just delivered to you, placed in your lap. If you want my newest stuff too, hit that little notification bell below as well. With that, this is Jonathan in Dallas, Texas. Until next time, peace.